Hi, I'm Amaya, and welcome back to my channel. Sserafim is one of the biggest groups in K-pop, and they released their first studio album 3 years ago with Unforgiven. Now, in 2026, they're coming back with their second full album, Pureflow Part 1, and I'm here to review the album overall, give my opinion, and say whether or not I think this is an improvement compared to Sserafim's previous projects. Sserafim is known for experimenting with every comeback. We just had their last comeback with Spaghetti, which was an alternative kind of song, and right before that we had Hot, which was completely different. I've spoken in the past on how Sserafim is a group that is known for switching up their style, so I came into this album with no particular idea as to what I thought it would sound like. The album begins with Pureflow, which features more talking than singing. On every album, Sserafim begins with a song featuring every member speaking in their native language, Chaewon and Eunchae in Korean, Sakura and Kazuha in Japanese, and Yoonjin in English, which is a great way to feature all of the members' different backgrounds and to give Sserafim something that makes them stand out from other groups. It's also a way that they kind of mention the theme for the rest of the album. So Pureflow, although it doesn't feature any singing really, no singing, no rapping, it's just the members talking over an instrumental, it's going to be an important song in terms of setting the tone for the rest of this album. They also do mini films to promote the album based on each of these audio clips, so those are always really interesting to watch, and I loved the one for Pureflow. It featured the members helping Kazuha come to fight a monster. In the beginning, the members didn't really understand what she was going through, which represents an internal struggle, but by the time we get to the end of the video, everyone has banded together to help her because she wasn't able to fight it on her own. I like this message of teamwork. Sserafim has always been really strong on their branding as a group that's really connected, and in this video, they come together to help one of their members, which I always think is great to see. So I do love the concept for this song. I like the video, but when we get into the lyrics, it actually exposes some of the issues I have with Pureflow Part 1 as an album. Here are the lyrics that I really wanted to focus in on. You and me both, we're all weak inside. A face made ugly by tears, the face of suffocating shame. Let's step on the gas while we're at the edge of the cliff. No one knows our sadness but us. What seems like rock bottom is actually our way out. Let's get swept away together, for we are not fearless and therefore powerful. Sserafim has always talked about being fearless in their music from their very first song. The line, "We are not fearless and therefore powerful," implies that there is a hidden message to this album, that fearlessness isn't strength. Strength comes from facing your fears. But this message is not really consistent throughout the album. I'll address it on the songs when it does come up. But we start off with Pureflow, and then the next song is Boompala, where we have specific lines talking about being fearless. Specifically, they say, nothing's forever, so there's nothing to fear. This is in direct contrast to what we said in the previous song, Pureflow. Nothing's forever, so nothing's to fear. How can we make this jump in Pureflow of acknowledging our fears and saying that we get strength from facing them, to Boompala, where we are saying that we do not have fears. We've ascended far beyond that, and that is why we are so confident and powerful. It seems that Sserafim or their writers don't have a strong concept of fear or what being fearless is. Is your sense of self so strong that you have no fears? Are you strong and face your fears head on? Do you understand that there are certain fears you can't face and struggle to deal with it? These are all three different ideas, but Sserafim blends them together as one. Boompala's teasers were incredibly divisive, following HYBE girl group releases like Pinky Up, It's Me, and Sserafim's own Celebration. I was one of the people who fell into this group, thinking that I was not gonna like the song, so let's talk about it. You may be wondering what Boompala means, but it is not a pre-existing word. I think of it as similar to Wusa, where it's just a word people use to calm themselves down. Boompala starts by sampling one of the most recognizable songs ever, the Macarena. This song is not subtle about its sample at all, which I think really works for it. The Macarena is an upbeat, feel-good song, and it matches perfectly with this song's message of self-love. The song starts off with Kazuha repeating Bumpala and saying, "You can't hold on to the clouds in the air."
You can hold on to the clouds in the air.
This tells us that just like the clouds in the air, we are free and cannot be contained or limited. Yoonjin sings, "Wake up saying hi to the mirror, trying to find the light where the fear were. Baby say goodbye if you see her. She's only an illusion, don't feed her." Here, Yoonjin personifies her fears, saying not to give in to them. This works with Eunchae and Kazuha's lines, beating up all inner drama, saving the shame for mañana, pause for a second like comma, put the fear to bed pajama. This is saying, don't be scared, leave your fears behind, and go out and enjoy the day. They say all of these lines with very monotone delivery, which adds to the calm energy of this song. It also simulates a mantra or a kind of repetitive phrase that someone would say. In the pre-chorus, Chaewon says, "Nothing's forever, so nothing's to fear." This is a line that I really enjoyed because I relate to it. Life is temporary, so why should we let temporary things hold us down or create issues? The chorus is really funny. It's also where the sample is the strongest, and they integrate some of the Macarena's original lines into this part of the dance.
On my chest, on my heart, I'm jamming. Only loving on myself, I'm coming.
My celestial chakra is stunning. Namaste, namaste, I'ma stay up. In these last two lines, Sserafim is saying that they're one with the universe. The next line, "Only betting on myself, I run it," is about taking control over your life. In the next verse, Yoonjin says permanent is something I'm letting go, which goes along with that previous line about nothing being forever. Kazuha's line, "Self-love is the mommy, I'm the baby," was hilarious when I first heard it. At the end of each chorus, someone says 1, 2, 3, bye-bye, which is their way of saying goodbye to their fears. The song ends by bringing back that original Macarena sample. Now let's talk about the music video and performance. Throughout the video, we can see the girls dancing on a festival-style parade float, going to a sauna, and dancing surrounded by several speakers. As the girls relax and practice more self-love, giant golden statues of themselves emerge from the ground. Chaewon sheds a tear that a flower blooms from, holding sakura. The speakers fill with water, and the members fall as raindrops. This is connected to the line, "Everything's water and everything's air." At the end of the video, the girls dance in a circle surrounded by backup dancers. Overall, I liked the direction of the video. What I didn't like was the use of AI. In the beginning, it's made very clear that the video is sponsored by Google, Gemini, and Android. It was obvious that they would use some AI in it, with Google being their sponsor, but in certain parts, like when the statues come out of the ground, or when they zoom out to people meditating in the end of the video, they just look really bad and poorly done. Overall, I really like this song for its fun and quirky energy and its positive message. It's generally for the same reasons why I liked Spaghetti last year. Now let's move on to some of the other songs in this album. The next song on this album is Celebration, which we all heard last month when it was released as their pre-release. I spoke briefly about this song in one of my podcast episodes, but I was not a fan of Celebration. The instrumental for this song shows potential. I am a fan of EDM, but it's just a little too slow for me.
It's time to say goodbye.
My favorite part of this song is the dance break, which of course is just a little too short. When Yoonjin says, "Bring it back," we barely had time to miss what we were hearing before.
Bring it back now.
When we talk about the lyrics, some of the lines like, "Hey to the painful time that bloomed into faith," "It's time to say goodbye to when I was fearless," "Congrats to the me who took on uncertainty, hold scarred hands and keep steppin'," "You know we found each other in the fear." We could really go somewhere with this songwriting, but they barely get time to show it and to develop Sserafim's story through this song because it's so short, and because once we get to the pre-chorus, chorus, and post-chorus, it's all so repetitive. In this song, Sserafim admits that they are not fearless, but that this fear bonded them as a group and they have now overcome it. This could be a beautiful song if it only had more time to develop. In the music video, we get to see Sserafim chasing this Frankenstein-like creature, only to find out that they were trying to invite him to a party in space for all of the other creatures who don't really fit in. I really enjoyed the music video. Our next song on the album is Creatures, where Sserafim describes themselves as monsters who don't follow others' rules and just want to party. This is a fine, inoffensive song. It matches with some of the other songs on this album, like Pureflow and Celebration, and it also is more rock influenced, which we're going to get in some of the other tracks on this album.
I wanna make your head bang bang. Na, 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 na.
In this song, they come across as powerful and carefree. Creatures is followed up by Iffy Iffy, which is the most clearly pop sounding song on the album.
So I choose iffy. 그게 나야, go with the feels I've been facing.
And I'm also a really big fan of this one. This song seems to align more with Pureflow, where the girls talk about being scared, not feeling okay, and wanting to start over. They say, "No fears, sweet lies, I don't deceive myself anymore." These lines about being honest and admitting to being scared feel a lot more powerful to me than the songs where they say, "We're not afraid of anything." Fearlessness isn't a state most people will ever reach, but everyone can relate to being afraid of something. Then we get to the chorus, which goes, "So I choose Iffy Iffy, that's me. Go with the fears I've been facing," showing that the girls are uncertain but still want to face their fears. The funniest line in this song definitely goes to "If Achu, bless me, bless me."
If I choose, bless me.
But this feels like a pretty good song for Sserafim, and although it's one of my favorites off the album, I definitely get why it wasn't a promotional single, because it doesn't spark conversation like Celebration or Boom Pala do. The next song on this album, Need Your Company, is another one of my favorites off of this project, but I don't think it fits at this point in the album. Need Your Company is a slow rock song.
Need your company, no matter how you hurt me.
The first line, "No one really knows me, nobody understands, I know. No one really knows me, sometimes even I don't." Need Your Company shouldn't have been placed this far into the album because it kind of messes up this storytelling that we've been doing. The first several songs on this album were about A, being with a group of people who understand you and help you overcome your fears, and B, understanding yourself. Even on the first track, Pureflow, the girls talk about being connected through their fears and being a strong group. Talking about "no one understands me" feels like it's really coming out of left field, because our previous songs were just talking about how they understand each other and bond over facing their fears as a group. The chorus goes, "I need your company, no matter how you hurt me. You're somebody to me, what do I do? You filled with your warmth the seat next to me." This song about longing for connection with the only friend who's ever really understood you is extremely emotional and beautiful, especially sung by Sserafim, who have shown their strong bond through all of their ups and downs. I just wish it made more sense with the messaging in their other songs and at this point in the album. I understand that some people don't care about the order of the songs or the track list. You probably won't listen to the album all the way through anyway. We start off with Pureflow. "We are a group, we're strong, we're bonded as a group, we face our fears together." Then we get Boom Pala talking about facing your fears so much that you have none anymore and you've literally ascended, like you're connected to the universe. And then we have Celebration, where we're just turning up because we're so happy and we're celebrating, obviously, in a group, right? We're talking about Sserafim all the way. We're talking about how excited we are as a group to celebrate after we faced our fears. Then we get on to Creatures, where we're talking about not listening to other people's rules. Basically, almost the opposite of what we're saying in Need Your Company, because we don't need other people to feel confident. We can do things on our own. So Need Your Company just doesn't make sense at this point in the album at all. Again, I really like this song. Need Your Company is followed up by Sonder, and before I say anything about the song, it feels really dated. If you listen to the instrumental, it reminds me of something from 2020, like Be Happy by Dixie D'Amelio. Sonder is the realization and understanding that everyone has complex lives different from yours. They say, "Your joy, sorrow, pain, your worries, concerns, ambitions too, Sonder. Sonder, I feel it even more, feeling every story with my whole body like I'm swimming. The thing that tormented me so deeply wasn't nameless stars, but each person's own universe." I think this song is about Sserafim realizing that they are not alone in their pain and that other people go through the exact same thing, which proves Need Your Company wrong, because there are clearly people out there who understand them. Sonder starts off with "Someone smiles, someone cries. I don't care, I'm trapped inside myself." But the girls move on to realize what others go through. I like the idea of this song, but as I said, it feels just dated enough to be uninteresting. It's not recent enough to be trendy or old enough to be retro. it's right in the middle. There also aren't enough interesting moments production-wise, and the chorus is incredibly repetitive, so there isn't enough going on here to really keep my attention. Saki is the next track on this album, and it is the only feature. The feature on here is Aaliyah's Interlude, who is probably most known for her fashion sense, which she calls Aaliyah Core, and posts on her TikTok account. This song starts off with a callback to 1-800-HOT and FUN,
Where the heck is Saki? 1-800 hot and fun.
where someone asks for Sakura's number, only to hear this.
1-800. You fucking wish.
The beat is really lively, and I love how the vocals are layered throughout this song. This song is all about being confident, getting attention, and ignoring people who don't like you. Although the intro may sound malicious, Aaliyah goes on to say, "Why you ask for my autograph, then be talking on those apps." And Sserafim says, "I'm the girl between your teeth, I know," making it clear that this song isn't about true friends or fans, but about people who are two-faced. While I think this is a great song overall, and definitely fits with Sserafim as a group, I don't know how well it relates to the rest of this album. I can see a connection between being fearless and standing up for yourself, but I think that's a little bit of a reach. And then remember how I was talking about album order. The previous song was just about understanding other people's pain. This song is about people being two-faced and ignoring them. When we do Need Your Company to Sonder to Saki, it's like the mood changes so quickly. And I don't think that this was a particularly good decision to put these songs in this order. Next up, we have Irony. This song has clear Latin influence, which is nothing new for Sserafim, with other songs like Fire in the Belly and Anti-Fragile.
It feels like a runny. It feels like a runny.
Irony is really fun as well, and it shows how far Sserafim could go with just a little bit more effort on some of these other songs. They say, "The more I try to grasp it, the more it leaves my hands. The moment it slips away like grains of sand. Strangely, my heart becomes lighter. Isn't it strange? Feels like irony." This is also one of the less repetitive songs on this album. This song is about feeling better after embracing your fears instead of running from them, as evidenced by lines like, "Ah, I'm anxious again, then suddenly relieved. I just decide to enjoy it. After the rope that was like my salvation got cut off, the irony of being able to breathe. I like it. Like it. The moment I let go of what I was holding on to, the pain fading far away, disappearing pain." Yeah, I really like this song. Irony is followed up by Trust Exercise, which sounds just a little bit like Mystical Magical by Benson Boone.
Ooh, it's a trust exercise.
This song is about being hesitant to fall in love, with lines like, "Cynical, my heart that was closed off, crescendo, slow but in tempo. Let me go, I want to get closer. The more I know, the more deeper and deeper in love." This is also an offensive song like Creatures, but more pop sounding as opposed to rock. I don't think a love song makes sense on this album when every other song was about either facing your fears, friendship, or learning to understand yourself. You could make the argument that other songs on the album, like Irony, were about facing your fear of falling in love, but I think that really undermines the story Sserafim has tried to tell about discovering yourself and friendships. The album ends with Liminal Space. This is not really a song in the same way that Pureflow isn't really a song, because there is no singing. In this song, it is entirely just talking. This song features a soft instrumental behind the girls talking in a car. Liminal spaces are empty or abandoned places that don't feel real, like an empty school cafeteria. On this song, the girls discuss the album, Chaewon and Kazuha crying when Eunchae recorded her part, and how the song Need Your Company depicts Yoonjin and Kazuha's relationship. At the end of the song, Eunchae says, "There's a destination, right?" And Chaewon replies, "There is. The destination is ourselves." This just serves as an album closer. I don't feel any type of way about this song. It just sounds like a conversation. When I first listened to this album, it was 2 a.m. and I thought I really liked it. And then I went to sleep and woke up hours later and realized that I wasn't that big of a fan of it. I think that's kind of the experience of listening to this album. It feels at the surface okay, but when you try to get into the lyrics of the songs, when you try to listen to some of the songs, you kind of feel a lack of direction overall. We have a few songs like Bumpala and Celebration that are more EDM heavy, and then we have other songs like Need Your Company and Creatures that are more rock influenced. Of course, it's regular to explore genres across an album, but I think Pureflow Part 1 tries to dip its toes into too many different things all at once. What is our main thought behind being fearless, and how can we explore that? Do we need to explore self love and friendship and romantic relationships all on the same project and fake friends? Half of this album feels amazing, and half of it feels like it was kind of thrown in to make this from a mini album to a full album. This is the same thing that happened with Sserafim's first full album. If you don't remember, they actually had 13 songs on the Unforgiven album, but 6 out of the 13 were re-recordings from previous projects. I finished this album with the same question Unshe had in Liminal Space. Is there a destination? Where are we trying to go with this group's theme of fearlessness? I think the explorations in some of the individual songs were really interesting. As a whole, the idea that they have of what fearlessness is, what strength is, feels kind of confused. Pureflow Part 1 tells the story of self-discovery both forwards and backwards, leaving listeners stuck in the middle. Let me know what you guys thought in the comment section down below. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, also leave a like, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching. Bye!